Hi, I'm Brent Pickett. I'm the Dean of the University of Wyoming at Casper, and I'm fortunate to be joined here by Makayla, who is a UW at Casper alumnus and also one of my favorite former students. So it's great to be able to talk with her. So UW Casper has been in the Casper community for 44 years, and we've really changed, I think, what the nature of Casper. You can't go into an elementary school in this district without coming across one of our alumni. You can't go to a social service agency without coming across UW Casper alone, working as a social worker or as a counselor there and such. So I think the UW Casper's really had a positive impact on our community. And to talk about the type of positive impact that UW Casper can have, here with us is Makayla. So Makayla, can you tell us a bit about your experience at UW Casper?
Absolutely. So it started out. I actually started at Casper College and then went into UWC, and I interestingly enough, this was about the fifth higher education institution that I started at. I came into it as I don't know, I was about early 30s, single mom, two little kids. I was just trying to take care of them and didn't have the opportunities career wise that I would have had with a degree. So I went back to get my degree. And just the entire time, to me, it was very much a sort of roll out the red carpet kind of experience. I always felt, I mean, just from the beginning, always felt very well taken care of. I felt very empowered and supported. And what was different about this particular institution that worked for me is that they really seemed to understand, for those of us who are non-traditional, who are also working, who are also balancing a family, who are also all the things. It felt to me like it was very understood, and rather than that counting against us, they were enabling us to get through what we needed to get through.
That's great to hear. At UW at Casper, we have primarily non-traditional students. Our average student today is in her early 30s. So it's a very typical profile, what you talked about.
Mhm.
And we are here to serve those site-bound students who have kids in local school. They have a spouse who has a job here. They're full-time employed here as well. So one thing that's important about that profile student, though, is that people think, oh, with the Hathaway Scholarship, higher education financial aid needs are largely met. But in fact, for non-traditional students, the Hathaway doesn't do anything for them.
Right.
So years ago, a colleague of mine, Carol, and I came up with the idea of a non-traditional student scholarship. And we wanted to make that available to persons who are 25 and older, or who are parents, or who are veterans, or who are first generation students. And Makayla, you were able to receive one of those scholarships, right?
I did. It really helped ease the financial burden because, like I shared with you, I was already taking care of a family, which is another thing that, traditional students generally don't have to worry about is the extra, I don't want to call them cost, but the extra sort of financial burden of, supporting a family plus trying to put yourself through school. So it any little bit helped, but the non-traditional scholarship really helped me a lot.
That's really good. And in fact, even people who are part-time students can still get partial awards with that scholarship. And that's actually atypical as well. Most scholarships are just for full-time students, but we have so many part-time students here as well. And again, so many of them are parents. We wanted to be able to make it work for them too. So Makayla, I have a question for you. What I've heard from a lot of our scholarship recipients is that um, that the progress that they made in their degrees and in their careers through their work at UW Casper oftentimes didn't just positively impact them, it also spilled over to the next generation and did things for their students too, or for their children too. And I was wondering, is that something that resonates with you?
Oh, absolutely. So I myself am a first generation student. There is nobody, of course, I have cousins or something that went to college, but in my direct line, there's nobody. So I was the first generation to do it. And I think my kids, specifically my daughter, who was a little bit older, she was, gosh, 11 maybe when I started, somewhere around in there. But her watching me, just what I went through to get my homework done and what I went through to get my my work in and all of the projects done, and her watching me do that in that mode while also being parent, in my opinion, is definitely what influenced her and my son as well. What influenced them to, first of all, just know that they were going to do it, because if mama can do it with all of that stuff going on, they have no excuse. But second of all, it motivated them to get it done in an easier manner when they didn't also have to take care of a family. So I am super proud to say that she has enrolled in college. She's 18. She has enrolled and is in her first semester of college. And my son, who is 14, already has a whole plan ahead of him for how he's going to get through college as well. So there's no question anymore about if it's something they're going to do. It's just, we're going to make it happen.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. And in fact, I'm first generation student as well, right? My parents, my dad went part of one semester, I think, and dropped out of college when he was 18. My mom didn't go at all, but both their sons went on to college and got college degrees. And I think that we ended up inspiring our parents. And so my parents went and got college degrees as well.
Oh, how fabulous. Yeah.
So anything else that you want to share with us about your experience at UW Casper, or the non-traditional student scholarship, or the financial aid piece?
You know, I can't speak enough about what a complete life-changing experience it was, both for me and my kids, for me to be able to get through school, even though, you know, I delayed it by decades or more. But just for us to be able to do that, the difference that it made in the lifestyle we are able to have, and in the personal fulfillment, and just in the trajectory I see in their life, it's, you know, it's reset. I shouldn't say reset, that's bad. It has changed just our whole life. And I very strongly feel like it has also changed the trajectory of their lives, which might have been different if, you know, I was still cleaning houses for a living or whatever I was doing at the time.
Makayla, one of the things that I find really impressive about you is that you self-consciously construct your career and the types of business enterprise that you're doing, and you do it in a way that maximizes what it means to you and how fulfilling it is, and that self-conscious construction of a career, and the choosing what projects you take on because you're going to find them more meaningful, or you think that they're going to help you grow your talents and stretch your abilities. I just find that really inspirational. So
oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's, you know, it's definitely that foundation that was laid. I mean, of course, you know, I came up through the communication department, so it's, you know, all about that foundation of just, you know, being able to work with anybody, but the luxury of being able to choose who you work with. So
great. Thank you for your time, Makayla.
of course, thank you so much for having me.